So we are all painfully aware of high electricity bills and high cell phone bills and high gas prices and all the stuff that seems to be just working together to make our dollars evaporate pretty quickly these days. But let me just encourage you in one thing. There is a tiny way to be able to fight back, and that is to sit down and really go through the listing of where all your money is going. Has there been a time in the last couple of years where you really sat down and wrote down all your monthly expenses and really got a clear picture of where your dollars were distributing to? The cable bill, the phone bill, the streaming services, the car insurance bill that bumped up a little bit from last year, but you maybe didn't even really notice that. The groceries, the medications, the dog and cat food. I did that exercise a couple months ago. I sat at my computer, I downloaded all my bank statements, and I just kind of started writing all the numbers down on a yellow legal pad and making them in columns and adding them up. And let me tell you, it was an eye-opening exercise. Now, if you're over 40 like me, you've lived through enough economic cycles to know that prices that go up tend to stay up. Your internet company is not going to say, hey, we're really glad you're our customer and you've been for a number of years, so we're going to start knocking $20 off your bill just for that. That phone call's probably not coming, just in case you were wondering. So is there anything we can actually do to be of help? Let me just share with you some ideas today. And it deals with you using a tool that you might very well have sitting on your phone or your internet right now that doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free, no subscription required to do what we're going to talk about today. And that there's a good chance that you're wildly underusing that tool. So, in these next few minutes together, I want to share with you 6 very specific things that you can do using this tool that will help you get a better eye on where your money is going and rein in some of those places where you can be saving. These are opportunities to put real money back in your pocket, not a few months from now, but actually starting today. Hey, if we haven't met, my name is Diane. I'm in my mid-50s, and I have this YouTube channel to help my fellow folks who are over the age of 40 to have more influence online, to build income, and along with that, have the opportunity to hold on to more of the money that we're making, even in these times where it's getting harder and harder to get our dollars to stretch. So I want to share with you some specific prompts today to use on ChatGPT. You've probably heard of it by now, and hopefully you've given it a few tests. And what we're going to talk about includes no tricks, no paid plans that you have to sign up for and end up paying for in the long run. These are just 6 prompts I'm going to give that you can copy and paste and actually start using today. Now, I'm going to put each prompt up on the screen as we're talking about it, and you can screenshot that from there and just load that directly into ChatGPT. And I'm also going to put the prompts down in the description where you can just copy and paste and use them from there too. However you want to do it, I just want to make it very accessible and easy for you to use. So I'm excited to share these ideas with you, but I do just need to give one important disclaimer before we start. I am not a financial advisor. ChatGPT is not a financial advisor. What I'm sharing here are just some research and preparation tools that I'm encouraging you to check out. Ways to use a free piece of technology that help you to get yourself more organized, that help you to prepare better questions, and to help you walk into some important money conversations just feeling and being more prepared. For specific advice about your personal financial situation, whether that's your taxes, your investments, your debt strategy, any of that stuff, you need to talk about that with a licensed financial professional. Got it? Okay, let's dive in. So let's call this first prompt the subscription audit. I think the single fastest money that you can find this week that might be hiding in plain sight in your credit and debit card statements might be the subscription creep. Those little $6 charges you get every month, the $12 charges, the streaming service that you signed up for 6 months ago to watch one show, and then it just keeps renewing, and you may not have even really remembered. Here's a prompt that I want you to use in ChatGPT to get a hold of those subscriptions. Act as a frugal budget coach. I'm going to paste a list of my recurring monthly and annual subscriptions with their costs and how often I actually use each one. Help me identify, number 1, which ones are redundant or overlap with each other. Number 2, which ones I'm underusing based on my stated usage. Number 3, cheaper alternatives or family plan options I might not know about. And number 4, rank them from definitely cancel to worth keeping. Be direct, don't sugarcoat. Here's my list. Then just paste your list. You're going to find that and put it together by pulling up your bank statements and your credit card statements and go back the last 3 or 4 months at the very least, and then type in every recurring charge that you see pop up on them. And add in a rough note of how much you use it and kind of what it's for. Streaming service X, watched twice in the last month. Cloud storage Y. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I'm paying X number of dollars a month to have it. Once you use this list with that ChatGPT prompt, what you're likely to get back is a ranked, brutally honest hit list for all those subscriptions. ChatGPT can help you to catch things that, frankly, you're just a little too close to really take note of. Like, you're paying for 3 streaming services that have really similar inventory of shows. Or did you know that this one offers an annual plan that runs maybe about 40% less? Prompt number 2, the retention department script. All right, now this next one is one that some people are likely to find to be a bit intimidating because it requires something that most of us really dislike doing, and that's picking up the phone and having what we might consider to be a little bit of an unpleasant conversation with someone. You're picking up the phone to call your cable company, your cell phone company, your internet provider. But here's what I think a lot of people maybe don't have a full picture of, that every one of these companies has an entire department that's devoted to keep you from leaving them. These are all called retention departments because they want to retain the amount of money they're getting from you every month. And typically, these retention departments have offers that they are authorized to give you, real significant offers that you are never going to hear of unless you specifically ask what's available. They're not going to just volunteer that information, but they'll talk about it when asked. Now, the problem is, when we think about doing that, it's like, oh, I don't know what to say, or I'll get too nervous. I'll lose my nerve. I'm just going to hang up and I'm going to pay the bill because I don't want to go through making a phone call like that. Let me encourage you, there are ways to do this that are far less painful than what you might think. And that's where this ChatGPT prompt comes in. Write me a phone script to call, insert the company's name, retention or cancellation department to lower my monthly bill. I currently pay X dollars for, and then describe the service. A competitor, who you can name, is advertising similar services for, insert that amount of dollars. I've been a customer for X number of years. Include number 1, what to say when the agent first answers. Number 2, the exact phrases to use to ask for retention offers. Number 3, what to do if they say no the first time. Number 4, when and how to escalate the call to a supervisor. And number 5, a polite way to say, I'm prepared to cancel today if they can't help. Keep the tone confident but friendly because I'm not a rude person. And then what you're going to get is a word-for-word script that's specifically designed for that company. Things you actually say out loud on that phone call. I've been a loyal customer for 8 years, and I'm calling because my bill has just gotten too high. I'd like to know what retention offers you have available today. Once you get that script, read it through, maybe practice it once you have to, and then get on the phone and make that call. From what studies show, it is not out of line whatsoever to expect a 15 to 30% reduction, even just with the first call that you would make. Some people get more, some people get less. But honestly, the worst that they can say is no. And then you wait until next month and you make the call again and you get a different agent and you start the process over and see whether it takes perhaps a different kind of direction. All right, let's check out prompt number 3, the custom debt payoff plan. And ChatGPT, when used correctly and wisely, can help to build you a payoff plan in maybe about 90 seconds worth of time. So here's the ChatGPT prompt I encourage you to try. Act as a no-nonsense debt strategist. Here are my debts. I'll list out each one with the balance, the minimum monthly payment, and the interest rate. The total amount I can realistically put toward all my debt payments each month is X amount of dollars. Build me a payoff plan using 2 approaches. Number 1, the avalanche method, where I attack the highest interest rate first. And number 2, the snowball method, where I attack the smallest balance first. For each method, show me my total interest paid and my projected payoff date. Then tell me which method makes more sense for my specific situation and exactly which debt I should attack first this month. Then you paste in the debt list that you put together from going through your statements. So what you can expect to get back from ChatGPT in this circumstance is two side-by-side plans with actual numbers that can really give you a more realistic picture. Real dollar amounts, real dates, and you'll see the potential that putting something maybe like $40 extra per month toward a specific debt could have the potential of shaving 18 months off of your payoff date. In these situations, that kind of clarity is really worth a lot because debt without a plan is overwhelming. Debt with a plan becomes a math problem that you can work through towards an end. We're up to prompt number 4, and that's the credit card APR reduction script. So prompt number 4 is obviously connected to the last one we just talked about with debt reduction. And I think this is remarkably underused. You can call your credit company and ask them to lower your interest rate just by asking. And a surprising amount of time, they say yes to that request, especially if you've been a customer for a long time and you have a good payment record of making your payments on time. But again, I think this is a situation where most people would have no idea what to say when they make that kind of phone call. So here's a prompt that helps you to get a script that's going to be easy for you to use. Write a script for me to call my credit card company and ask them to lower my APR, the interest rate. The card is, insert the name of the card. My current APR is X percent. My balance is approximately Y dollars. I've been a card holder for X amount of years and I make my payments on time. My credit score is roughly, and you can put the exact number in there, or you can just say good, very good, whatever sort of category you want to put it in. Include, number 1, the opening line that gets me to the right person when I call. Number 2, the exact phrasing to request a rate reduction. Number 3, what to say if they offer me a small reduction and how do I politely push for more. Number 4, what to say if they refuse entirely. And number 5, a polite line about how I'm considering a balance transfer to another card if they can't help me. Make it sound natural, like a real human being talking and not a weird robot. Now look, if you're carrying a balance, every percentage point that's attached to that debt really matters. Dropping that APR, your interest rate, from 24% to 18% on, say, a $5,000 balance equates to hundreds of dollars of savings over the course of a year. And you might be able to accomplish that savings just with one phone call. And again, there's always a chance that they might say no, but this script is going to help you to be able to politely press the issue and hopefully get a better result. The script that ChatGPT will help you come up with this is going to help you know exactly what to say. Honestly, your big job is finding the phone number and making that call. Prompt number 5, the medical bill negotiation. All right. Clearly, this one is important, and it becomes even a little bit more important the older we get because we might more likely find ourselves to be in these situations as we age. Medical bills, they show up, they're scary, they're huge, they're confusing, and we all know that the system is not set up for the average person to be able to understand them. But do not run away from the fact that medical bills are almost always negotiable. They're not like a receipt that you're going to get from Target or Costco. The number on the piece of paper with that medical bill is kind of more of a starting point of a negotiation rather than the final word that can never be argued. So here's a prompt I want you to consider for this. I just received a medical bill for X number of dollars from hospital or provider for type of procedure or visit. Write me 4 things. Number 1, a phone script to call the billing department to request a fully itemized bill and look it over for errors. Number 2, a phone script to request a financial hardship discount or a self-pay rate, which I can understand can typically run 20 to 40% off. Number 3, a phone script to set up a zero interest payment plan if I do owe the balance. And number 4, a written letter template that I can use to follow up if those phone calls don't get me results. Also, tell me what specific line items on an itemized bill are most commonly overbilled or duplicated so I know what to look for. So what you're going to get back is a pretty fleshed out game plan. And let's face it, between billing errors, between hardship discounts, between negotiated discount payment plans, it's genuinely possible to cut a medical bill in half or maybe even by more. So please, please just don't pay those bills as they arrived. Use something like this prompt first to get an idea of where the negotiation strategy might come in for you to be able to deal with those bills in a just better way for your finances. This could really be some of the most high leverage work you might do to get these bills down into something at least hopefully a bit more manageable for you. And finally, prompt number 6, the insurance shopping companion. So this is our last one, and this is a quiet money saver that I think very few people actually do. When was the last time you actually shopped around for a better auto insurance rate, or your homeowner's policy, or ask your current insurance provider if there's any discounts that you qualify for that you're not getting? Now, for most people, myself included, the answer to all these questions is that all happened a pretty long time ago. And honestly, our insurance carriers are counting on the fact that that's how we answer those questions. So let's see how we can attack that and see if we can get some changes with this prompt. I'm shopping for auto, home, life, whatever, insurance. Help me by giving me, number 1, the 10 most important questions to ask for each insurance quote beyond just the price. Number 2, which coverages I should never reduce just to lower my premium, and which coverages I can safely adjust. Number 3, a comparison template I can fill in for each quote, so I'm comparing proverbially apples to apples. And number 4, a brief phone script to call my current insurer and ask whether there are any unclaimed discounts I qualify for. Here's what you need to know about me for the best answers. I'm, insert your age, I own or rent my home. My home has list features like security system, newer roof, and you would do that with your car as well if you're also doing your auto policy. My driving record is clean or has whatever elements on them, and I don't bundle my policies. What you're going to get back from that is kind of a more structured shopping guide. No more comparing quotes that look totally different. You don't really know how to make that adequate comparison with them. And no more wondering if you're just getting talked into too much coverage when you have no idea if it's something that you really actually need. And you never know until you try. Okay, they're the prompts I wanted to share today, and I hope you can think about how you want to put them into play with your own financial situation. And another good thing about ChatGPT is if you get stuff back that is a little bit confusing, you can always say, ask me questions to give me a better answer for this. And it will ask you questions of this information that you didn't put in there that it might find helpful to give you a more specified answer. Always keep that in your back pocket to get a better answer from ChatGPT for what you're looking for. Now, ChatGPT is not our financial advisor. It's not our therapist. It's not going to live your life for you, and it's not going to make some of these uncomfortable calls that I'm encouraging you to maybe try here. But it is going to be a thinking partner for these things. It's going to be a research assistant that at least helps you to be able to make some moves forward. Always double check. Always maybe just do some more research from what you get back to. But it provides a tremendous starting point for these kind of things that could end up having a significant financial help. So I encourage you to pick one this week. Of the list of 6 that we talked about, just pick one, try it out, see what happens, and maybe get a little more courage to be able to try the further ones from there. And hey, I'm always interested in what you're doing. Drop me a comment and tell me about which ones you think you might try, which ones you have tried, or if you're using ChatGPT in any other ways to be able to save money, because we can all use better ideas of how to do that. Hey, I really appreciate you watching. I talk about AI tutorials here. I talk about how to succeed with a YouTube channel, especially when you're over the age of 40. So if any of these things are going to be things that you want to hear more from moving forward, I'd love to have you on board and to subscribe. And liking this video always helps a lot too with YouTube. Thanks for watching, and this is another video that I think you would love to watch next.